Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is feeling awesome because today we are doing fractions. And I realize that the word fraction is usually enough to cause terror and stress, but I'm here to assure you that fractions are actually pretty easy and something that you have been doing for some time, whether you realize it or not. But if you are someone who gets stressed or feeling stressed right now, why don't you pause the video or just take a second, stand up, do a couple jumping jacks, shake off that stress because this is not going to be too hard. So let's go ahead and get started. I went ahead and kind of grabbed this picture here. It's a picture of a pizza, and it says, it's best when pizza is sliced unevenly because then you can pick the slice size depending on how hungry you are. Am I right? Well, that's the question. Is this person right? And I don't know about you, but whenever I'm kind of faced with a pizza, if somebody buys a pizza, the first thing that I do is like to kind of run over there and locate the biggest slice of pizza and put that on my plate because I love pizza. And usually, it's we try to be fair. We say, well, okay, there's four of us, and there's 12 slices of pizza, so everyone gets three slices of pizza, but that's usually, does everyone get the same slice? Well, no, because some slices are bigger than others. So is that fair? And not really. So that isn't fair. So that kind of brings us to our first rule, and that is that fractions are always equal. So let me go ahead and I'm going to actually underline the word always. Fractions are always equal. And here I have a picture of a fake pie, fake pizza, because I've yet to see a pizza sliced evenly. This one is, and let's see, there's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight equal slices of pizza. So that's rule number one. Rule number two: fractions are always less than one. So let me go ahead and I'll messed up there, but underline always. Fractions are always less than one. And what do I mean by that? Well, when you're dealing with fractions, before you have a fraction, you must have a whole something. Here I have a whole sandwich, and here I have a whole apple, and here I have my whole pizza again. And what we do here in this one, we just kind of cut it in half, right? We have now two slices, and here I have, four apple slices, and here we had eight slices of pizza. But when you take those pieces and you kind of put them back together, we would have our whole whatever that is, our whole pie, or our whole apple, or our whole sandwich. So fractions have to be, they're always less than the whole. Well, now we're going to move forward here, and we're going to talk about the anatomy of a fraction. And I like kind of think about this as we're kind of moving away from vocabulary and into math grammar. How do we construct a fraction mathematically? And here I have 3 over 4. Okay, we have a number on the top, we have a number on the bottom, and we kind of this fraction bar in between, or we can call this the division bar, and we'll talk more about that later. So what does the top number mean? What does the bottom number mean? Well, the top number tells us how many equal pieces we have. Okay, and the bottom number tells us how many equal pieces it takes to make a whole pie. And here I have my apple again, and as you can see, I kind of took away one of the pieces. And, so if I ate one of these pieces here, how many pieces would I have left? Well, I'd have 1, 2, 3 pieces left, and that number goes on top because that's how many equal pieces we have. And the bottom number, that tells us how many equal pieces it takes to make a whole pie. In this case, it's, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think maybe you can start to realize here why it's important that fractions are equal, because if fractions were not equal and I took one piece away or I took two pieces away, you might have a hard time figuring out how many of these kind of unequal pieces make a whole pie. You wouldn't know. So it's important that that fractions are equal, so we can kind of follow these rules. All right, and that's it. So those are our 4 rules of fractions. So, how can we apply what we learned? Well, here I kind of cut, I kind of ate different pieces of the sandwich. Here I ate 1 piece of the sandwich, so I have 1 piece left. So let's take a moment, think about it. What am I going to put on top in case of the sandwich here? Well, there's 1 piece, and there's 2 pieces make up a whole. So that's 1 on top, 2 on the bottom. I have 1 out of 2 pieces. I have 1 over 2 pieces. I have 1/2. Okay, I have half the sandwich left. All right, and I think that's probably a common fraction. I think you've probably been dividing things in half most of your life. I have a brother, and my mom would say, you got to share that cookie. You got to share that sandwich, and I would have to give them half. So that's probably pretty common. This one here probably not so common. You probably don't think about this type of fraction so often. But let's see what we have here. We have let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces left. So if there's 5 pieces left, that's going to be our top number. And we already know that there's 8 pieces in this pie. So that's 5/8. Okay, I have 5 out of 8 pieces. And lastly, our apple. All right. And here, as you can see, I have 1 piece left. All right. I have 1 piece left. And we know that it takes 4 pieces to make a whole. And I do recognize that if you didn't know, just looking, if I just gave you this piece of apple and that was on your assignment, you might not know, how many equal pieces it takes to make a whole. It'd probably be hard to tell. So I can assure you, you will not have anything like that on an assignment. But we do know, there's 4 pieces make up a whole. So our fraction is 1/4. And let's practice. Let's practice. I'll give you a little bit more time. Kind of either write down or think in your head what the answer to each of these are going to be. So let's look at the first one. It's a little bit more abstract. We're now no longer into food. We're just kind of into these shapes here. And what can we have? So, here, think about it for a second. Here we have 2 pieces. 2 pieces in our circle. And you can probably tell it takes three of these pieces to make up a whole. So that's 2 on the top and 3 on the bottom, or 2/3, 2 out of 3 pieces. And how about over here? Well, over here we have 1, 2, 3 pieces, and it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces to make up a whole pie. So that's 3/6, or 3/6. Now I think some of you, you probably know how to simplify. Maybe you do, and we're not going to worry about that today. We are going to get to that very soon, but today I just want to make sure that you can count the top and put it over the bottom. So what did we learn? Well, we learned that fractions are always equal. And we learned that proper fractions are always less than 1. We learned that the top number tells us how many equal pieces of something we have, and the bottom number tells us how many equal pieces it takes to make a whole pie, or really a whole anything. It doesn't have to be a pie as we've shown. It could be food, it could be a circle, it could be a triangle. It doesn't matter as long as the pieces are sliced equally. Also, when writing a fraction, add up how many equal pieces you have and put that number on top. And next, ask yourself how many of those equal pieces make up a whole pie and put that number on the bottom. And just to make sure that you do not forget what a fraction is, I recommend, or I'm going to assign, if you're in my class, one of these vocabulary sheets. And this particular thing is called a Freyer model. I have it right here, so if you want to Google Freyer model and how to put one of these together, you can. What I would like you to do, is over here is the definition. You are going to write the definition for fraction, something in your own words. It's important that you take ownership and you write the definition in your words, something you can remember. You're then over here in the right quadrant, you are going to put down some facts, some characteristics of fractions, and we covered those today. And over here, we're going to have examples. And I would like a picture, and I would like how you would represent that picture in math form, mathematically. You know, like I showed with the apple, and I had 3/4 or I had 1/4. And lastly, we're going to have a non-example, something that is not a fraction. And that does not mean a picture of a cat or a dog or something like that. No, what I'd like you to do is it needs to be some sort of a shape, and you are going to cut that shape in some way that is not a fraction. Okay, it needs to be cut in a way that is not a fraction. These sheets will be available to you if you're in my class, or you can find them on my website and grab one in electronic form. So I hope you enjoyed your lesson on fractions. I hope they're a bit more clear now, and I look forward to seeing you in class. Have a good day.